Good morning. I was getting ready to make some incense for a custom order, and I thought I would make a video on it. Excuse me, I need a lip balm. I thought I'd make a video on it and kind of give a demonstration, just because I feel like there's some things that are overlooked with herbs, especially certain particular herbs. Um, so the custom order I have is for uh, Palo Santo, which is a super awesome incense. Um, the spiritual benefits of Palo Santo are gonna be like cleansing, purification, better connection to the divine. Um, Very much stress relieving, so it's calming. So it creates a calm atmosphere. But there's also some medicinal benefits to it as well. And so we're going to go over that one. And then I'm going to give you I'm just kind of going to show you how it works, because certain incense doesn't burn like others do. So, I'm going to light this and we're going to let it burn kind of while we're talking. Except I have ash in here, so I'm going to knock that out of there real quick. And then we'll get started. And hopefully this video isn't too long and I can keep y'all's attention. Where did I wipe the ash off my hand? Right on my side of my shirt. Okay, so we're going to light this. So, Palo Santo is one of my favorites. It smells amazing. I use it for all kinds of things. And there's some amazing things about it that some people might not know. So we're going to light this. And we're going to I'm going to pop it right here and I'm going to let it do its thing while we're chatting. So it's really, really good for like stress reduction, purification, connection to the divine. We discussed that. I feel like the smoke is like in the middle of my video and you guys won't be able to see my face. So I want you to kind of see it, but we'll just have it go that direction. Okay. So there are some medicinal benefits of Palo Santo as well that people kind of haven't researched. For one, it's really, really amazing for skincare. You can brew it into like a tea or something and use it for your skin. It's antiseptic. It's anti-inflammatory. And again, it's a purifier. So a lot of herbs that we use for spiritual things, a lot of them. Now, this isn't for all of them. I'm not going to be one of those people that says it's every single plant has, because that's not the case. Not every single plant has the same medicinal benefits as it does spiritual benefits, though some do. That being said, it is a purifier, and so it helps purify the skin, it helps with inflammation, it's antiseptic. It's also really good for cold and flu. I have burned it in my home for cold and flu. Now, what it does, because it's this antibacterial, antiseptic herb, it will grasp bacteria in the air and, eliminate it. It gets rid of that bacteria. So it helps keep your home cleaner and can help with easier breathing and things like that. Now, I don't recommend inhaling this quite like you would mullein or something, because mullein is one of those herbs that it's meant for. This one might be an irritant if you're just like breathing it in and sitting over it and you have a cough. But the after effects from after you burn it, when you've burned it in the same room, and obviously you're not directly inhaling it, really, really help with cold and flu and to eliminate that bacteria. And when you're breathing it in from a distance, it helps eliminate that bacteria inside of you as well. You could also brew it into a tea and do essentially somewhat of the same thing. You could brew it into a tea and put it in your mop water and mop your floors with it, wash your walls with it, wash down your tables. This is not the only herb you can do that with. You can obviously do it with tons of herbs, but today we're discussing Palo Santo. So, it's also really good for like inflammation reduction. Oh, let me back up a little bit. So, the fact that it grabs bacteria in the air and eliminates it, okay, because it's that antibacterial properties, it has the power to eliminate odors. I like to kind of think of it like nature's Febreze. You know, they have those air, I don't know what they're called, for Febreze, and it's supposed to like grab onto odors and eliminate them, and then your house smells fresh. Well, Palo Santo does that, only it's all natural, which I really love. So it's very good at eliminating those odors and making things just smell nice and fresh, because it grasps onto those. So back to, it's really good for stress reduction and anxiety and things like that. I'm trying to think of what else it does. Did I say inflammation reduction? It helps reduce stress and inflammation. When you reduce your inflammation, you're reducing your stress levels. Because everything is not screaming at you because you're hurting and things like that. And stress and inflammation kind of go hand in hand. So when you're doing something to help eliminate both of those, or help at least reduce both of those symptoms, your body can work together to make things a lot less painful and a lot less stressful. Again, not making medical claims, just stating, the possibilities. And so another thing I wanted to discuss, as we were sitting here, I lit this, okay, and it was burning and it went out. That's what these Palo Santo sticks do. And that's what they're meant to do. It doesn't, because of the type of wood that it is and things like that, it doesn't just stay lit, which is nice, because I think if a whole stick burned, it would be very overwhelming. You could overdo it. So we're going to discuss that in just a second, but I also wanted to go back and discuss, reducing stress levels and inflammation can help connect you with those spiritual goals that you're having, because sometimes when we're stressed and we're full of anxiety and we are full of inflammation and pain, our minds are not going to be where they need to be for us to connect with the divine and connect with the goals that we're needing spiritually, because stress, pain, inflammation, anxiety, things like that blind us from those type of things. So really cool for opening doorways. I'm now going to kind of tell you guys about the incense. So as I'm making these, and I'll post videos and pictures and such later about them, but it's not going to be like a normal incense cone. This is one of my autumn ones that I made. It's not going to be like a normal incense cone where you light it and it burns all the way. It is very, very hard to get pure, authentic Palo Santo incense cones or incense sticks, because the public doesn't understand when they get an incense cone or an incense stick. When you light it, it's just, they think it's just supposed to burn. And, you light it and then you let the smoke and the cleansing do its thing, and you're walking away from it, and you're not supposed to have to relight it. Well, any pure form of Palo Santo is going to do the same thing these pieces of Palo Santo would do. I do also want to let y'all know, and maybe give you some advice. Everything that I make my incense from is ethically sourced, because I know that Palo Santo, that's a concern with it, but it is ethically sourced. And if you are going to utilize Palo Santo or burn it or anything like that, make sure it's ethically sourced. Make sure you find that source. But when I'm making these, no matter how much I powder the Palo Santo, it's not going to just stay lit and burn all the way through. You're going to have to relight it. And so people tend to be like, well, you know, the incense doesn't work like it's supposed to. Oh, no, it does. It's just pure and real and authentic. And so it's doing exactly what the plant itself would do if you're burning it. So I kind of wanted to just touch base on that a little bit with the fact that when you get these Palo Santo incense cones, they are going to burn just like these sticks do. They're still super potent, super powerful in the purest form, but you're going to have to relight them because they won't stay lit, just because that's the nature of it. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, because handmade incense isn't necessarily cheap, and sometimes we don't need a ton of something for it to be effective. Sometimes just a short burn, like I said, you don't want a whole Palo Santo stick to burn in your house, because obviously you would fumigate everything spiritually and things like that, but too much of something could be a bad thing. And when you purify things too much, you end up getting rid of some of the good stuff too, if that makes sense. So it works like an antibiotic, okay? Again, this is like antiseptic, you know, and things like that. But when you take antibiotics that you're given by the doctor, it depletes some of the good bacteria in your body, right? And especially when you're having to take antibiotics on a constant basis, it will deplete that good bacteria that your body needs to replenish itself. And you can do the same thing with incense and herbs very easily. So you don't necessarily want it to just burn and burn and burn and burn and create too much. So I kind of wanted to go over that so that people know the benefits, spiritually and medicinally, as well as when you get these. And I will do because I realize this video is kind of long, I will be making another video, on why, they don't burn for as long as a normal incense cone would. So, I hope this video wasn't too long. I hope y'all have made it to the end of this video and I didn't bore you completely. And I'll make a separate, shorter video again, stating why these particular incense cones and some others, you may have to relight them just because that's their nature, and sometimes that's more beneficial for us. I will talk to y'all later. Thank you, bye.